as soon as I think, that's when my brain goes blank. How's it going? My name is Will, and I've been playing keytars for a long time. Keytars is such a strange instrument, but it's a lot of fun. I love playing keys and synthesizers, and I wanted to give my honest thoughts about the Axe Edge. You know, as soon as someone says honest, you know it's going to be criticism. This thing is cool. The overview, the TLDR is that this thing is awesome. It looks awesome. The sound engine is awesome. It is very, however, I just find it to be too clunky of a keyboard, and I am actually selling it. My reasoning is that I love keytars and I don't need 3 keytars. And I got the Alesis Vortex recently, and there's just no friction when I play that thing. That thing is just so cool. There are pros and cons to having like a MIDI based keytar versus a keytar, you know, this is a MIDI based, it has built-in sounds, and that's cool. That is, you know, a pro of that. But it's just, at the end of the day, this thing is, if it looks clunky, well, it's because it is. And would I recommend this keytar to anyone? Yeah, I would. I think as like your first keytar, this isn't a bad pick. The sounds, you're going to find sounds that you really love, and you have so many different controls on the neck. That's really cool. So it really feels powerful. I think, but I think in the long run, I just prefer the feel and like the size and the weight of the Alesis Vortex. But let me not get too into that. What I wanted to do is, well, anytime I sell a piece of gear, I just like to go back memory lane with it and just go through some sounds. I'm in a weird position with this one though, because, well, the sound engine inside of this keyboard is available on, like, you could just download Xenology into your DAW and have essentially the same sound engine, though there's some caveats with that. But, or you can have like a groove box like the MC101 and have a similar sound engine, which is why I prefer the Vortex. I have another video about that specifically, where my thesis is that the Alesis Vortex plus the MC101 is greater than just having this. So anyways, the sounds are 10 out of 10 essentially. Yeah, there's some sounds that are duds in here, like the saxophone tones in here are kind of trash, but you know, I didn't buy a keytar to play saxophone. I want to play like dirty synth tones and maybe it's like some guitar emulated sounds. But yeah, it's awesome. And another aspect of this thing is that I dislike is getting sounds into this and editing sounds with it. It's not really fun. I believe you have to go through a phone app in order to do it, and I just despise using it, frankly. I think there are workarounds, and I think someone might have made like a custom thing for it, but Roland really should have just allowed me to just plug this thing into the damn computer and just let me do whatever I want. And I guess you could download Xenology and do like a workaround like that, I guess. But I don't know. The benefits of this, and I will talk about the highlights of this, is that, well, one, it looks cool, and two, that, yeah, you have built-in sounds, and I'll just flick through some of my favorite sounds and just, well, I don't own a mic stand right now, so I'll just let the keyboard do the talking for a little bit. I find that to be fun. So on this neck, which is like, why, that's what makes a keytar essentially, is the neck of the keytar. Your left hand is going to be doing different controls, and the back, like where my thumb is, I don't know if my camera's going to really pick it up too well, but there's like 3 little like buttons. Oh, this is so difficult to get the shot. There's like 3 buttons back here. So one of them is a sustain. You can map it to whatever you want, but can just hold a note like that. That's pretty cool. And then up here you have like you have some knobs up here where it's like volume and, you know, cut off, whatever you want to map it to. I think that's really cool. And yeah, there's like this whammy bar thing that we got going, which, by the way, I should mention that my original whammy bar broke. When I bought this, I did buy this used, but when I bought it, about a year into it, this thing broke off. And I had to order a new one. And the technician, it was only like $30, but it took like 2 months for the job to get done. So I went without this thing for a while. And when he installed it, he mentioned, well, I installed it and it works fine, but I do think that eventually it's just going to happen again based on like the way that it, you know, it's designed. I don't know, do your own research. Maybe there's some people on Reddit that's like, maybe it's like a common problem, maybe it isn't. But this bar is cool. You can map it to whatever you want. Typically like vibrato or something. I don't know what this patch is mapped to. Let's find out. That's like a cutoff. Let me go through some more of the sounds. Let me get to like some of like the synth leads and some basses. So another thing I wanted to point out is that you don't have a pitch wheel for like for changing, for doing like pitch bends and stuff. You have this strip right here, and it's fun to use. The Alesis Vortex has a wheel, and a wheel is better. It's just smoother and more consistent. This, I'm getting rug burn doing this all the time, I'm gonna be honest. But what I do like about it is that it's also pressure sensitive. So if I play a note, if I like push it down, and now this isn't the whammy bar, this is in between. There's like this part you can bend, and then you can push down into and dig into it, and you get vibrato. So I think that's pretty neat. About the key bed itself, this thing is huge. I wish it was like MIDI keys. I like that this has 4 octaves. Every other, well, I guess a lot of other keytars will have like 3 octaves, which you're not really expected to do two-handed stuff. So 3 octaves is fine. Of course, you'll have buttons to jump around octaves, and you could do performance tricks with that. But yeah, sometimes it feels like 4 octaves is excessive. This is why this is so long. I mean, it would probably be like this long otherwise, which would be more manageable. But there have been rare occasions where playing with 2 hands and comping like a violinist or something with like an acoustic piano tone in here, you know, it's good for that. It being all black keys does throw me off. I can play without looking pretty coherently. Sometimes I look down and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I will be honest, but it looks cool. I've seen a variation where it's the same color, but the keys are like normal, like white and black. That looks looks corny, but it looks really cool at the same time. But that's just an aesthetic thing. The way that these keys feel, they feel a little weird to me. They feel a little like, maybe it's mine, but I feel like they feel, I kind of get like rug burn with it. I don't know, maybe I need to lube my fingers, maybe I gotta lube my keyboard. It does have aftertouch too, I should mention. So aftertouch being you play a note and you push down further. That's really cool. And to bring up another keytar to the conversation, the Korg RK100 I thought was going to be my keytar, but the touch strip on it is way better. The problem with it is that there's no extra controls. It needs aftertouch. It needs like a pitch wheel. That's arguable, but the aftertouch, you kind of need that, and maybe like a knob for like filter cutoff. I don't know. Let me go through like some other sounds. And feel free to like look up videos of this thing if you're considering buying this. I'm just giving my personal thoughts about it, so it won't be like the most comprehensive thing. That's cool. That's cool. Yep, there it is. It's on my system. Yeah, it feels fun playing bass on this, admittedly. It's a lot of fun, but again, rating the tones of this is kind of moot, given that you could just download a VST of this, or any Roland product. Some synth horns. Yeah, so this has just been in. Oh, that's really cool. This has just been in my like gig bag for like months, like untouched. It's just performed a couple times with it, with my full band, made YouTube videos with it, as you probably have seen here and there on the channel, and I've also walked around an anime convention with this thing, just walking around, just like play like anime covers. Like that's like so freaking cool. Like it's so fun to do that, and you just look like, it's like, whoa, what's this massive thing? But yeah, carrying this thing, I don't know how heavy it is, but carrying this on your shoulder for like more than 2 hours is not fun. I'm gonna be honest. Some other sounds. Yeah, that's about. I mean, you get some ripping leads in here. But I don't know, there's not much more to say about it. Other thing I should mention is that buying a case for this keytar is also annoying. It's in such a weird shape, like it's like this weird, like this edge, AX Edge, like it's all like slanted. You gotta buy a case that's, I guess you don't need to, but the case that I got was kind of custom made for it, where it just fits in there really nicely. And that case is not cheap. It's not cheap. It adds up. And I'm like, man, this thing is so huge. I don't know. I really enjoyed it when I tried it out in the store, and I fell in love with it. But after the honeymoon is over, you're like, man, I'm tired of these kids, bro. I don't know. Maybe just past the honeymoon phase of this keytar, because I've had this for about maybe 3 years. Wow. Maybe 2, but 2 or 3 years. I don't know. And yeah, I fell in love with it immediately. And plugging this into a looper pedal is a lot of fun. And yeah, it does have MIDI capability. You can MIDI into it, MIDI out of it. So if you have a sequencer, you can use the sounds in here and build stuff with it. That's really cool. But I guess just to end this whole video, who do I recommend this for? If this is your first keytar and you have the money to spend on it, because it is pretty expensive, maybe try to find it used, but maybe just try it out in the store first. It's a lot of fun, and you feel really cool. And if you like it, you'll know if you like it. And just try it out, and just really try out the different controls on the neck. Specifically, just try out like the pitch bend on it to see if you really gel with that, because that is probably the biggest learning curve for me. And just let me know your thoughts. Yeah. Thank you.